We would like to welcome you to Mr. Otsu's class play.
The class had a lot of fun preparing this feat, and we're sure that you're going to like it.
We're the two narrators who will help guide you through everything during the play. We will come back in between the scenes to help catch you up on anything you missed or did not understand.
We also wanted to go over a couple of rules. We know that you need an excellent audience that pays attention and are great listeners. Lights will go on and off, so you expect you not to scream and yell just because it got dark all of a sudden.
The bottom line is, I want you to enjoy the play, but be respectful to not only the actors, but to your fellow classmates as well. Make sure you make your teachers proud of your behavior.
Okay, enough of the rules. How many of you have heard about the story of the Tortoise and Hare? Well, we are going to be performing what we call a parody of that story.
For those of you who don't know what a parody is, I will tell you. A parody means a piece of writing like Tortoise and Hare, and you add a plain twist to the original. I bet you know that you're going to learn something today.
So in this case, we took the story of the Tortoise and the Hare and created a parody called Mr. Otsu versus Mrs. Banas. I bet you can guess who's supposed to be the tortoise and who's supposed to be the hare.
Now, just so you know, we did get Miss Banas' permission to use his character in the play. She was great support for it, and we thank her in advance.
Okay, enough of this chit chat. Y'all came to see a play, right?
Yep.
Well, let's get on with it. Here's Mr. Otsu's class play called Mr. Otsu versus Mrs. Banas, Tortoise and the Hare parody.
We hope you enjoy it.
About Mrs. Foster going crazy. I mean, deciding that she would rather walk dogs for a living than teach children, and that you were going to teach her class for the rest of the year. So I decided that I would take over your principal duties because I feel like I could do better. As good of a job as you have done.
What? No. You cannot just run and make decisions like that without us discussing it first. First of all, do you even have a principal's license? They don't sell these things in vending machines, you know.
Well, I understand that, but I had a dream last night that told me that I was supposed to be the new principal. In my dream, Mrs. Buzan came to me and said that I would be absolutely perfect for the job.
A dream? I had a dream last night when I won $1 million and moved to Hawaii. But where am I now? Let me give you a hint. I'm not packing my bags for Hawaii.
Mr. Banas, I have an idea how to solve this problem. How about the two of you have a race next weekend, and the winner gets to be in charge of the school for the rest of the year, and the loser has to teach both classes.
First of all, I don't want to teach fourth grade. Those big kids scare me. And second, a race? I don't know if that's fair. Mrs. Banas is still recovering from Purdue's historic and humiliating first-round loss to the 288th ranked team. Let's just say it was a little rough in the Banas household. I want to win, but I'm not sure this is the fairest way to settle this decision.
Whoa, hold on a minute here. Are you saying that I couldn't beat you in a race? I may be a tiny bit older than you, I may cry a lot, and I may have been a little bit upset about Purdue's loss, but I have more ability than you may think.
Besides, winning a race is not always about physical ability. Mrs. Banas is one smart lady, and you can never underestimate how important brains are in winning a race.
I don't know, Richard, and I think this may be a trend. I think Miss Banas has been waiting and training her whole life for this moment to take over control over the school.
I guess if Mrs. Banas is up for this and thinks it's a fair way to settle the decision, then I guess I'm all for it. Mrs. Banas, you wanted a race, you got one.
Okay, so Miss Buzan can be in charge of the school until next week, so both you guys can have a little time to prepare. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that works.
Now that it's settled, we need to come up with the rules for the race. Let's see. I think it should be a race all around Westfield. It should start at the school and end at the school. First person to cross the finish line will be declared the winner. Do we all agree with that?
That is a little farther than I was thinking. I was thinking race once around the track and be done. It might be too hard. I can barely get from the couch to the TV remote.
Come on, Miss Banas, it would be fun to watch you guys run all around Westfield.
Yeah, that way I can sit in my front yard and cheer Mr. Hohen's victory. I can have signs, play music, have a water station.
Yeah, we get it. You're excited and want it to go all around Westfield. I personally just want to see every girl sweaty and gross.
Okay, it's settled. The race will go all around Westfield, starting and finishing at the school.
Sounds good to me. How about you, Miss Banas?
I accept your challenge.
I would like to show you my superior ability in winning the race and would like to wish you good luck.
I would like to wish you luck too, but also tell you that I'm just glad to be able to have a friendly competition between two friends and
thing Mr. Rose has taught me over the years, it is that when it comes to adults, there's no such thing as a friendly competition. You either win big or go home.
Yeah, I think he said something like second place is the first loser.
Hey, that's not fair, guys. Miss McKinney always says if we all try our best, then we'll all be winners.
Well, Miss Suzanne may say the same thing, but deep down, she hates losing. I saw her once in her office, throwing things around when she heard that Dolly Parton lost on some award show. She sure did not seem to be fond of Miss McKinney's advice.
Well, I disagree with that type of behavior, but still want to wish you good luck.
I would like to wish you good luck too, and may the best person wins.
Well, it sounds like it was an exciting race. I guess that this race was supposed to make the original Tortoise in the Hare, but your host would be the hare and the rabbit, so it was a long, faster as Banas.
And I guess that makes Mrs. Banas a tortoise with a turtle. I'm not sure if I feel comfortable saying that she's a turtle because she's slow. I'm kind of scared of her and that she might want revenge on me.
Yeah, one time I made her mad, and she wouldn't let me back from school after recess. I know that sounds amazing though, but it was -5 degrees out, and I was in shorts. She just looked me through the window, laughing, pointing, and drew how chocolate life rose to death. Anyways, just remember that the real story of the tortoise in the Hare, the tortoise was a brain power.
So I guess it's not a bad thing to be the Turner story. Well, if it turns out like the original one.
Just remember, this is a parody, which means it has a funny twist to the original, so who knows what will happen. While we wait for the next scene video, let's check in to see how Miss Vance is preparing for the big race.
Please go! Mrs. Banas, you can do better than that! I don't want to! What's your sound? It's too hard! You're not! Please! Don't make me do this! It's too hard! No, it's not!
Wow, it looks like Miss Vance is training really hard.
Yeah, it looks like she's definitely in it to win it. Okay, let's go on with the play and see what's going to happen. The next scene is called The Injury.
Wow, that sounds serious. I wonder what's going to happen. Let's watch and find out. Here, scene 2 called The Injury.
Let's go, Evan.
Oh man, that's gross and super musty crusty. Your ankle's the size of a softball.
I'm glad to see you guys are worried about my health here.
Hey, we can't be the kids at school that has a principal that loses someone like Miss Banas. Everybody knows about the big race.
Yeah, the TV station, the newspaper, and everyone is coming. If you don't win, you'll embarrass our whole school forever.
I will admit, I heard a pop when your ankle laid on my foot and twisted. I turned around immediately because it sounded awful, and I knew it was going to be bad.
Hey, what's going on here? Mr. Hilton, haven't I told you that you're no spring chip anymore? That you shouldn't be trying to keep up with the kids?
Yeah, but
No buts about it. You're getting way too old for this. Might have to call your wife and tell her that you aren't acting on age again. No, please don't call her again. The last time you called her was because I was standing on a table in the office changing a light bulb, and she made me eat broccoli for a whole month. That I will be making that phone call. Don't you touch me. Now get him inside and take me down to the nurse.
Wow, did you see that? His ankle completely rolled the wrong direction.
That happened to me once. My ankle sort of was so big, it was the size of my
Sure, that's true. The next thing you were going to tell me to cut off your robotic foot.
Well, the doctors talked about doing that, but decided they'd save my foot.
Anyways, let's get back to the play. Your nose was so long that brings you to the bathroom in the multi-purpose room. Should I call Pinocchio?
I swear it's the truth.
Yeah. When did it even happen to you? When you're like 5?
Yeah.
Well, you sure act like you are.
You can't be talking, not that you're 107.
Okay. Let's get back to the play. Let's get to scene 4. Scene 3, called What Should We Do Now?
Well, guys, I don't think I'm going to give a race next week. The doctors told me to stay off my foot as much as I possibly could.
Well, Mr. Hilton, if you can't race and you'll lose, then you won't be the principal anymore. We don't want Miss Banas being in charge of school. She can get a little overly grumpy when she isn't fed on a regular basis. She gets kind of like a gremlin when they touch water. But instead of becoming evil, she becomes crazy grumpy.
I know, but I can barely walk, and the doctors told me to stay off it as much as possible. I guess I'll just have to forfeit, and Mrs. Banas will win by default.
No, you can't forfeit.
It really isn't that big of a deal.
Can you imagine the announcements in the morning? Good morning, Carrie Ridge. This is your happy, peppy Mrs. Banas wishing you the most awesomest and super great day. I can't take all that positive energy.
It really isn't.
Wait, I have an idea. You have permission to go get Mr. Oates?
Yeah, Akio, go get Mr. Oates and come right back. Okay, so how many of you want to see what my ankle looks like? I do. Okay, if you want to see it, come over and look. Please don't touch it. Can I touch it? No.
Hey, Mr. Hillen, how's that ankle feeling?
It's killing me.
Man, little energy took you out. You're getting old, Mr. Hillen. You are young like me.
So, Mr. Oates, you know about the race between Mr. Hilton and Mrs. Banas, right?
Of course I do. You have to be living under a rock to not know about the biggest race of the year. Man, I'm so bummed that there won't be a race now because I was waiting to watch Mr. Hillen cross the finish line like 4 hours before Mr. Banas.
Well, I think we can stop a race. We just need Mrs. Banas to race against you instead of Mr. Hilton. Do you think she'll go for it?
Akio, go over and ask Mrs. Banas if she'd come over when she gets a minute too.
Oh man, this would be epic if she agrees. I bet the rabbit, the tortoise, and the hare. I mean, I would run circles around Miss Banas. I bet that I could run like 5 million times before she even crosses the finish line. Oh man, I am.
Miss Banas, thanks for coming over. Obviously, with my new injury, I'm not going to be able to race you next week. So, Mr. Oates will be racing my place.
Can't I just be declared the winner? All this training is really wearing me out. And I would much rather just sit around, watch TV, and eat some candy. You know how much I love eating.
Oh no, you're not getting me out of the diet, Miss Lily. Okay, I'm gonna tell her. Mrs. Banas, instead of racing Mr. Hillen, you're gonna race me. Oh yeah, we're going down, Mrs. Banas.
Really? Do I have a choice?
You agreed to the race, so since Andrew decided to injure me, Mr. Oates will be racing my place. I'm sure you can do it.
Alright, I guess I already started training, so I might as well keep going. Besides, I wouldn't want to disappoint all the children.
Oh yeah, it's on my Donkey Kong. Yeah, I'll add to the bet of the race. If you beat me, I will wash your car every day, do your bus duty, make your dinner, and anything else you want from me for an entire year. And the best thing about it is that when I win, you don't have to do a thing. How about that?
Well, I guess that is too good of an offer for me to refuse. So I guess I need to get back to Miss Pickett and Mrs. Christ, so we can keep training. What are you going to do to train?
Train? Train? I don't need to train. I'm an invincible Mr. Oates. No one can beat me. I'm too tough to be beaten.
We'll have to wait and see. You need to leave before your ego gets too big and trap you.
I can start having dinner and over here.
Well, class, I guess the race is back on.
I'm so excited. For a minute, I thought that injuring Mr. Hilton was going to be the end of our play.
Yeah. Luckily, Mr. Oates stepped up and is going to fill in for him. I'm just glad Mrs. Banas decided to accept the challenge. Although it does seem like Mr. Oates is being a little bit arrogant. Don't you think he should do at least a little bit of training?
I know, Miss Banas is busting her butt out there, and I don't think Mr. Oates is doing much to prepare.
In fact, let's check in and see if both Mrs. Banas and Mr. Oates are preparing for the big race before the next scene.
Not again! Please! No! You did it! Watch yourself! Not again! You're fine! I don't want to! You're fine! Miss Pickett, Miss Pickett! Please! No! Please, no!
really hard.
Yeah, super hard.
I know, right? Okay, I may not know that much about preparing for a race, but I don't think Mr. Oats is doing much to prepare.
Well, I guess we'll find out if preparing for a race really pays off. Or if Mr. Oats' way of preparing for doing absolutely nothing is the way to go.
It definitely is.
Let's get scene 4, called the pre-race interviews.
Well, folks, today is finally here. That is right. It is your state. This is Luke, and next to me is my fellow reporter, Vivian.
Wow, you can feel the excitement in the air today. Backstage right now, you have two of Curious Grace, teacher Miss Banas, and Mr. O's preparing for what appears to be the ultimate race.
A lot of people have been comparing this race to the classic Tortoise versus the Hare race.
Yeah, they're saying that Mr. O's is lightning quick like the Hare, and Miss Banas is just a bit slower and moves more at the pace of a tortoise.
I guess happiness being compared to a tortoise is better than being compared to a snail or even a sloth.
You got that right. Here to give us more insight on today's race, we have gotten the original Tortoise and the Hare to come around and give us their thoughts. So first, let's introduce the Hare. Everybody give her a round of applause. Now that we introduced the Hare, let's introduce the winner who won the race. Everybody give it up for the Tortoise.
Since you'll probably, let's start with you, Mrs. Hare, since it might be a while before the tortoise reaches us. Do you have any thoughts about today's race?
Well, I don't see any way that Mrs. Banas is this thing. I mean, she may even be slower than the tortoise over there.
But didn't the race so Tortoise end up beating you?
Yeah, but it was a one-time thing. I mean, I shouldn't have lost. I'm a better athlete. Just look at the shape that I'm in.
Since we'll probably be here till the sunset's waiting for the tortoise to reach us, maybe we should go over to him. Welcome to Tortoise, everybody.
Well, Mr. Tortoise, the Hare said you just got lucky. You're probably not going to if you race again. Do you have any comments?
Well, I think the Hare may be a little overconfident. She may be able to jump higher, run faster, and be more athletic, but I use something the Hare is lacking to win.
What do you use? What is your weapon?
You ready? Okay. I use my brain power. That's right. I use my brain.
I bet that wasn't too hard. She over there doesn't seem to be the sharpest tool in the toolbox.
Hey, I disagree with you. I stand by the fact that the slowpoke tortoise just got lucky.
I would love to sit here and let you two argue all day long, but we have to take a quick commercial break and pay some bills before we have a quick careers chat with Mrs. Dennis and Mr. Oats.
Man, oh man, I love Mr. Byers, but something needs to help him out with his bad breath.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I almost passed out when he was standing next to me because the smell of rotten tomatoes was so strong.
Quiet, here it comes again.
What are you two up to?
Nothing. We were just waiting for,
Yeah, we're just waiting for you to come back so we can keep working.
That's a lie. I know. It's my bad breath, isn't it? I'm Mr. Byers, and I've always had bad breath. I've had it since I was 7. I swear, I'm telling the truth. You have to believe me.
Have you ever been stuck in a situation like this? You take the time to get ready for your day. You brush your teeth, you shower, you comb your hair,
only to be ashamed of the bad breath you can't do anything about no matter how hard you try.
I need help. I don't know what to do. I have tried everything.
Have you tried the all new and improved onions and peaches mouthwash?
No, I haven't. What is it?
It's a special mouthwash guarantees to make your breath smell so good even teenagers will want to inhale.
That sounds cool.
But don't take our word for it. Listen to these satisfied customers.
I used Tutler's breath ever. In fact, it was so bad, my friend said it was strong enough to kill the weeds in the front yard. All I had to do was breathe on them, they would shrivel up and die.
What changed your life?
Well, I heard about onions and peaches mouthwash, and the next thing you know, people are begging for me to breathe on them.
Really? How do we know you're not just saying that?
Here, I want to get a teacher volunteer from the audience. Can we have Mrs. McKinney come up to the stage, please? Go ahead and take a deep breath out so you can smell your breath. Bigger. That wasn't your breath. Your breath isn't that bad. Anyways, go ahead and take a nice big drink. Okay, now we are ready to smell your new fresh breath. Go ahead and breathe out again. Bigger. It didn't work. How is that possible? Well, sorry we couldn't help with your terrible situation. Everyone give Mrs. McKinney a round of applause.
Well, that didn't go as planned. I mean, that was a live demonstration of the power of the all new and improved onions and peaches mouthwash, but didn't quite go as intended. If you still don't believe us because of that failed success story, be sure to listen to this final success story. It features our very own Mrs. Nickam and Mrs. Baker.
Hi, I'm Miss Nickam. Hello, Miss Baker. I used to have such bad breath that my friends and coworkers would make up excuses not to hang out with me or want to plan our lessons together. It is true. Miss Nickam's breath was so bad. One time, she breathed on me and I passed out. Right there, on the spot, I fainted. If you don't believe me, check out the scar I have on my head where I hit it on the floor. After that, I made up excuses to skip team meetings. I was so embarrassed, I ended up staying in the house. I didn't go to the store, I didn't see my friends, I didn't even go to school because of my classes pretending like they were sick, just so they wouldn't have to be in the same room as me. Even my own son Luke would refuse to walk anywhere near me in public. Now, my older boys are teenagers, so I understood them, but my sweet little Luke didn't want anything to do with me all week of my best friend. It broke my heart. I felt bad for my best friend. We used to do everything together, and then we just stopped, because I couldn't take being around that bad breath. Miss Nickam is so nice and caring, but nothing could make up for that breath. Eventually, my husband had enough of my bad breath. Think about it. During the summer, he was trapped inside with it all day long. So he called the phone number from the commercial, onions and peaches mouthwash. Miss Nigham's husband told me it was so easy. All he did was pick up the phone and call 1-800-BAD-BREATH. It was done in 3 minutes. Later that week, they sent out a bottle of onions and peaches mouthwash. I tried it, and instantly my bad breath was gone forever. It did have some not so great taste. It tasted kind of like garlic. It also had some unpleasant side effects like massive foot hair growth, but I just didn't wear sandals anymore. But hey, it worked, and that is all that matters. Now you know I'm always wearing shoes. Now I got my best friend back. We can plan together, go to dinner, and hang out in the same room without worrying about passing out, hitting my head, and going to the ER again. Thanks, onions and peaches mouthwash. Without you, I would have lost my best friend forever. I'm so glad Miss Baker was staying out with me again, but more importantly, I got my little Luke back. He no longer pretends like I'm not his mom and likes to cuddle with me, and happiness is the joy of my life.
Well, it sounds like you called just in time to save your job, your friendship, and most importantly, your relationship with your little baby boy, Lukey. guarantee. If onions and peaches mouthwash doesn't work for you, just send back what is left and we will give you triple your money back. It's that simple.
Still sounds like a scam, maybe 50% scam. I'll take it. How do I order?
You can call 1-800-BAD-BREATH or go to our website at www.crazybadbreath.com. And don't forget, if you order now, if you order now, we will throw in an additional bottle that you can give to your mom for Mother's Day. I mean, does anything say, "I love you, Mom," like a bottle of onions and peaches mouthwash?
I'll give that to my mom.
What are you doing, Mr. Myers?
I'm ordering a bottle right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great idea.
My mom will have it on Mother's Day next year.
So don't forget. So don't forget, if you have bad breath or know someone who does, the days of being ashamed of your bad breath are over. Onions and peaches mouthwash is the solution. Onions and peaches mouthwash has not been approved for sale in stores and can only be ordered online. You cannot be held responsible for after using our product. You experience unpleasant side effects such as massive foot hair growth, your mouth burning, or your teeth falling out. So go now and start living life again with fresh smelling breath.
Welcome back to the ultimate showdown between the amazing Mrs. Banas and the sporty Mr. Oates.
We are now being joined by the two competitors themselves, only moments before going head-to-head in this once-in-a-lifetime race. Let's introduce them. Come on up, guys.
Let's start with you, Mrs. Banas. Why did you agree to this race?
Well, I just love being in charge and bossing people around. And oh, I love children too. In fact, I love having complete power over people so much that I'm willing to run this race and win it, so that I can lead this school to greatness. I want to push the students to be the best possible students they can be.
She's lying. She's just saying this for TV.
Okay, I want you to be 100% honest. Is there a part of you deep down wants to just be Mr. Oates in this race?
I'm doing this 95% for the kids and 5% for the power. I feel like if we all give our best, then we're all winners here. I bet Mr. Oates does his best, and then we'll all be winners.
Do you have any comments, Mr. Oates?
Yes, I just have one for you, Miss Banas. Are you ready to take a shower? Because you're going to be covered in eye dust. Oh yeah, you can't hang with the best man in the world. You are going to feel a pain in the feet just like your beloved Purdue Boilermakers did to IU not once, but twice this past year.
Well, Mr. Oates, those are some strong words. What do you think, Mr. Miller? Who are you pulling for in this race?
Well, I think that Mr. Oates probably should have made a little more preparations for the race, but I'm pulling for him all the way. I don't want Miss Banas to be in charge of all the great kids here at Hare Ridge. And Mr. Oates is the man that's going to make that happen. I feel it. Oates! 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 Oates!
Okay, let's settle down. It is almost race time. We'll let the competitors go and get ready. Good luck to the both of you.
We will be back in just a few minutes with the race that everyone's been talking about.
I'm so excited. I can't wait for Miss Banas to win. I'm excited too, but I disagree. Miss Oates is definitely winning this race. I don't know about that. If you're that confident, I bet you $100 Miss Banas is winning. If you're that confident, I bet you $1,000 Miss Oates is winning. Anyways, let's get back to the play. For your bank account goes so broke for May. That's right, $0.
Fine. This is scene number 5 called The Big Race.
Miss Oates is winning.
Mr. Oates.
Miss Banas.
Mr. Oates.
Miss Banas.
Mr. Oates is definitely winning.
Miss Banas, way better.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the race of the century. No, wait, the biggest race in the history of races. Today we have two completely different racers, trying to beat each other for the right to say the one, and more importantly, control over the school for the rest of the year. Let's not waste any more time. Let's meet the two racers and get this thing started. First, coming out to my right, we have one of the smartest, funniest, and most dedicated teachers you will ever meet. She has touched the lives of thousands of kids in her career, and she is a big fan of having power and control over everyone. Let's bring her up. It's the incredible and power-hungry Mrs. Banas. Let's go, Miss Banas!
next racer needs no introduction. You all know him as Mr. Oats. The rest of the world knows him as the incredible, unbeatable, amazing, fast track rabbit. Here he is, the one, the only, greatest fourth grade teacher that ever walked the earth. Everyone, give it up for Mr. Oats! Okay, you two know the rules. First one to run all the way around my field and across the finish line wins. Mrs. Banas, if you win, then you get the privilege of taking over as principal of Hare Ridge for the rest of the year. As an added bonus, Mr. Hilton will teach both Mrs. Foster's third grade class and your fourth grade class. Plus, you can say that you beat the unbeatable Mr. Oats. On the other hand, Mr. Oats, if you win, Mr. Hilton will continue to be the principal and your quest for power will end forever. You can also say that you beat Mrs. Banas, but let's be honest, this shouldn't be much of a race.
You got that. You got that right. It's guilty time. Let's get this race over with so I can celebrate my victory with a nice barbecue. And you're all invited to my party!
Hey, let's not celebrate before the race is even run. I've been training hard. Plus, remember what Mrs. McKinney would say. If you don't remember, she would say if you do your best and try your hardest, we will all be winners.
Mrs. McKinney, shh, she's got rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns. Come on, Mrs. Banas. Back out now with dignity and honor. Just forfeit and not to face the humiliation of defeat.
All right, guys, let's save this for the race. Are you all ready to see a race?
Yeah!
I can't hear you. I said, are you all ready to see a race?
Yeah!
Racers, are you ready?
I guess I'm as ready as I will ever be.
I was born ready!
Okay. On your mark, get set, go! And they're off. Well, at least Mrs. Banas is off. I think she is anyway. I can't tell because it seems like she's very lazy. On the other hand, Mr. Oats is still relaxing, having a nice pre-race nap. Wait, what's this? Mrs. Banas is taking the early lead, but I think I see a small slough on the ground that's actually ahead of her. That is how slow she's going.
Beating somebody!
Guys, look, it's Mr. Oats. We can finally get his autograph.
Wait, no, Mr. Oats, give me your autograph.
Hey, Mr. Oaks, where did Mrs. Banas go? It's no big deal. I just respect her.
Mr. Oats, did you teach us in class that is not the right attitude to have? Are you really setting a good example for us right now?
I guess you're right. I'll send him a few autographs later. Right now, I have a race to win.
Hey, Mr. Oats, do you want to come have Dunkin' Donuts with us?
Of course I'm not joking.
Hey, Miss Banas, do you want to come have Dunkin' Donuts with us too?
Dunkin' Donuts? Who would pass up Dunkin' Donuts? I mean, normally I would. But I gotta get to that finish line, okay? Bye, Mr. Oats. See you at the finish line. This is too hard.
See my phone. See my phone.
Hey, Mr. Oats, do you want to come have Subway with us too?
Sure, give me all the sandwiches you've got.
Look at this beautiful face!
Hey, did you know that it's two-sided?
It's two-sided?
Yay!
I like the bird.
Hey, Miss Banas, you want to come to the dance party with us too? That really looks fun. But I gotta keep going. That nice dance starting crazy. Everybody seems so faded. When somebody's turning and I feel like I'm dancing. Too much pressure and nervous. But the plastic dance on the radio. And the daisies come along. And the daisies come along. And the daisies come along. Show my
Man, oh man, all this morning eating and dancing and shopping has really made me tired. There's no way Mrs. Banks is ever going to catch up to me. So I'm going to take a little nap on industry ready.
Hey, soccer, get up! Miss Banas is gonna win! Yes, I did it! This is the single greatest day of my life! I beat Mr. Otsu in the race! I will go down in the history books as a hero! I don't even care about being the principal of the school anymore. I'm just so glad that I got revenge for my Parody Boilermakers losing to his wedges Indiana Hoosiers twice this year. This is even better than my wedding day! Wow, what a race. Here we are with the champion of the race. Mrs. Banas, how did you pull off this enormous upset victory? First of all, I would like to thank all my fans for supporting me, cheering me on, and believing in me. My goal was always to finish the race. Sure, I wanted to win, but finishing was my first priority. In all honesty, I didn't know if I was going to win. I just kept pushing and pushing until I saw the finish line. Well, you definitely accomplished that goal. What are you going to do now that you won the race? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is get the master key to the building so I can go to all the secret locked rooms in Hare Ridge. I'm definitely looking forward to exploring the secret tunnels underneath the school. And then maybe I'll go maybe I'll go to Disney World. Or maybe I'll find a food truck and just eat something. Maybe Dunkin' Donuts. Who knows?
Mrs. Banas, I would like to congratulate you on your victory. You definitely worked hard and earned it. I guess these sacred keys to the building and my office are yours now for the rest of the year. Good thing there's only a few days left.
Hey, I could use an extra hand running the school for the rest of the year. Maybe I can ask you for some advice from time to time when I'm lost and don't know what I'm doing. Maybe even be my assistant principal.
Wow, that'd be great, but Miss Museum, doesn't she already have that job?
Hey, I'll just send her to teach the two classes. Better her than us, right?
I just escaped from the classrooms. Why are you trying to put me back in them?
Her choice now, not mine.
I heard Subway's hiring.
First I wanted to lose it, now it's this.
Will you look at who's joining us now? Ladies and gentlemen, here we have our second place finisher, otherwise known as the loser in a two-person race. Mr. Oaks, how are you feeling right now?
Well, I feel devastated. I've never lost a race in my life. I mean, I knew they would help it, but I didn't know what happened so much life. I guess I'm going to have to retire from racing and teaching for a little bit. I mean, how can I go back and face those kids after losing to them?
Mr. Oates, you can't. got caught up in the excitement of the race.
Yeah, Miss Rhodes, you've always taught us over the years that if you should always give it your all and never give up. You've also taught us that it's not all about winning, it's about how you play the game.
Did you learn anything from this race, or would you do anything differently next time?
Yes, I learned that you always need to take things seriously and have fun.
Well, if you learn that, I think everyone walks away from the day a winner.
Wow, thanks, Miss Banas. You really only get through the loss of this race.
Only Mrs. Banas could make someone who just lost a race feel like a winner. Not only is she a winner on the track, but she is also a winner in life because she's always being so compassionate and caring. If we could all be a little more like Mrs. Banas, the world would be a much, much better place.
Enough talk. Let's go celebrate a great day because I'm starving right now. You guys know me and how much I love food. Mr. Otsu paying for the Dunkin' Donuts food. I need to catch up on that Dunkin' Donuts. I miss Dunkin' Donuts. Who would do that? I need Mr. Otsu. What? You're paying for food.
Well, first of all, I don't have a ton of money. And secondly, I'm not really that hungry since I've stopped at what seems like every restaurant inside of Westwood.
Well, I'm no genius here, but do you think that might have been one of the reasons why you lost the race?
Stop giving him a hard time and let's go celebrate. Besides, the guys from the rest of the class know that me, myself, and I...
Yeah, Mr. was definitely like Hare. He should have taken this race much more seriously. It just goes to show that the better athlete doesn't always win.
If there's always one piece of advice that Mr. is always trying to teach in class, they did not say to himself, is that effort and attitude count for everything we do in life.
I think he was definitely reminded of that today.
Wait, remember the bet that Mr. Oates made with his band, that his band fund included being a servant for the whole year?
Yeah.
Let's see if he's a man of his word. Curtains!
Is that steak medium rare?
I thought you wanted chicken.
I changed my mind. I'll speed him up the floor, please.
Oh, Mrs. Dennis, you're killing me here.
Okay, also, my car's in the garage and it's looking a little bit dusty.
Mrs. Dennis.
And worst of all, there's a fingerprint on my first place trophy. Who would do such a crime? A fingerprint! Being a winner's the best.
Wow, it looks like Mr. Oates is really, Miss Vance is really doing your time that Mr. Oates has a shirt.
Yeah. Anyway, I think he was definitely reminded of that today. I'm also glad to see that Mrs. Vance was such a compassionate person in the end. She could have made fun of Mr. for losing, but instead decided to show compassion and sensitivity.
That Mrs. Vance, she'd always say a great example, even in such situations.
Well, that is the end of this year's play. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something as well. Remember, it's not always about winning or losing, it's about how you play the game and having a positive attitude.
Wait, remember that what we made? If Miss Vance went $48,000, where's the money? I'm not going to come empty-handed.
Yeah, so I got it.
We want to thank you for being such a great audience. If you wait just a second, the actor will come out and introduce themselves to you. We want to thank you for being such a great audience again, and that is the end of this year's 2023 ClassPlay.
Hi, I'm Matthew Breaker and I play the role of Tortoise and Student 4.
Hi, I'm Evan Sport, and I played the role of Mr. Hilton, and I was also, prod manager.
Hi, my name is Malachi Edwards and I played the role of Mr. and Prop Manager.
My name is Jacob Thompson and I played the role of Student 2 in Lights.
backstage manager.
Hi, my name is Samantha Brown, and I played the roles of Miss Pickett, the Hare, and I also did lights.
Hi, my name is Victor Bizarski, and I played Mr. Byers.
My name is Hannah Jones, and I played the roles of Mrs. Buzan in Success Story #1.
Hi, my name is Akil, and I played the role of Student 5 and Sound Manager.
Hi, my name is Vivian Dunlap, and I play the role of reporter and prop manager.
Hi, my name is Austin Yonke, and I played the role of Commercial Kid 1. Hi, I'm Ava G, and I played narrator 2.
Hi, I'm Delaney Harmon, and I played Commercial Kid 2, and I was backstage manager.
Hi, I'm Natalie Barston, and I played the role of stadium announcer, and I was curtains.
Hi, I'm Sal McCormick, and I was Miss Chris in Student 1.
Hi, I'm Isabel Brown. I played Miss Nickum and backstage sound.
Hi, I played student 3 in Sloth. Hi, my name is Hudson Keegan. I played the role of commercial announcer, and I was also a prop manager.
Hi, my name is Lee Struts, and I played the role of narrator 1.